Hey guys, Jackie here again with another how to draw tutorial. Hopefully you're doing pretty well. But today we're going to be talking about grass. I know, right? It's probably the most exciting subject ever, next to my how to draw trees tutorial. But before you click out of this video, what if I were to tell you that I can show you how to make your grass look more like a manga professional? Sounds more interesting, right? Well, let's go ahead without further delay and dive right into the video and show you guys how to draw manga grass. So, if you're a normal person and you're first learning how to draw grass, your drawings are probably going to look something like this. And for all of you ASMR junkies out there who are probably itching to draw wiggly grass right about now, go ahead and get it out of your system. Feel better now? Good. Now then, at the level 1 stage, grass can tend to look a little spiky. And the spiky kind that can really impale someone, because it's so spiky. But this is not actually the kind of grass that we want to be going for. We want more natural looking grass, and with a softer and looser taper at the end. And this is how we'll be doing it. Instead of making the grass blades all the same size, we're going to be drawing them at different lengths. Some grass blades will be taller and shorter than others, and some will be leaning in different directions. And these two simple adjustments to your drawing is what is going to give your grass more visual variety, just like the real thing, which is going to be an essential technique to continue doing as you move forward. But once you feel comfortable doing grass at this level, you will have leveled up to level 2. Now at level 2, your grass will start looking a little bit more like the real thing, with a few areas you may still need improvement on, like keeping your lines from looking wobbly. But the main thing you will be learning at this stage is overlapping. That grass blades will overlap around each other, with some blades going in front of or in back of each other, like real grass. Now practicing is going to be key here, and you might actually find it easier as a first step to draw the grass blades in the front first. But definitely experiment around with it in order to get these kinds of looks with your grass. Eventually, you'll reach a point where you're ready to level up. And at that point, the question will start to become, okay, so how do I improve from here? What else do I need to learn in order to reach level 3? Well, there is one more important thing, and that's by studying the way that real grass grows, which is demonstrated beautifully by this video that I found here on YouTube. Can you see how it almost fans out the longer it grows? At the beginning stage of its growth, the grass blades will look very straight, but over time, as it continues to grow out, they will start to fan out and droop towards the ground due to its own weight. And this will be the key concept to understand and reflect in your own drawings in order to reach level 3 with your grass. As I demonstrate here in this video, I'm showing you guys how grass can stem out from a single point. Now, not every blade of grass will be coming from the same point, but it's another important thing to remember moving forward. If you want to level up to the next stage, you will need to be able to illustrate the 3-dimensional form of grass as well, because it's not always going to be in a 2D form. It's going to be growing from all sorts of angles and directions, and as a manga artist, you will need to be able to show this in your work. But on the plus side, once you feel comfortable illustrating this way, then congratulations! You will have leveled up to level 3, and you will have grasped all the basic concepts. And level 3 is great because your grass will be looking more professional, like these examples that you see here on the screen. Even with these simpler art styles, you can still see that fanning out effect that I talked about before. Another great thing about level 3 grass is that it has this look where it could be drawn easily and quickly, which manga publishers or even yourself can definitely appreciate when on a deadline. Just like all of the editors who work at Shonen Jump, I assume, probably appreciate too. But what if I told you that you could make this grass even better? How could you do that exactly? Well, you could add even more grass blades. That's pretty simple, right? When you're drawing grass blades, draw even more in the back and in the front and in the middle, making sure that they all intertwine with each other at different directions. You may even decide to add in a little detail in individual grass blades, or include some kind of shading deep in the shadows of the grass. This is what I would consider to be about level 4 in terms of drawing skill. Now, level 4 grass has this kind of look where it leans even closer towards realism compared to the previous level 3 grass. And you could tell that a lot more time and effort was put into capturing all these little details. At this skill level, your grass is looking very impressive. Do note though that not every mangaka is going to be at this level. Some are and some aren't. It just depends on their preferred art style. But if you're interested in going for a level 5 look, how would one even go about doing that? What would it even look like since we covered all the basics? Heck, you might even be thinking to yourself, huh? Yeah, right. There's no way that grass could look even better than this. Or even this, right? Well, my friend, let me introduce you to Level 5 Grass Hardcore Mode. Yup, that's right. Level 5 grass is at a point where it's just so detailed and so intricate that it's literally stunning. I mean, literally hours and hours probably went into making each and every one of these pieces, and that's what really sets it apart as a level 5 from a level 4 grass skill. Now, don't worry if you feel like you could never reach this stage. It's gonna be okay, trust me. Not everyone can. In fact, I can tell you just by looking at these images here that achieving a level 5 look is going to be a very time-consuming process because of the sheer amount of grass blades that will need to be drawn. And only the most patient artists with extra time on their hands will be able to create this kind of a look.
I got bronchitis. Ain't nobody got time for that.
If your time is limited, and you'd rather not spend the extra effort to draw detailed grass, when you could be putting that effort towards drawing other things, then that's totally okay too. It's your call at the end of the day. But let's go ahead and move on and talk about some helpful do's and don'ts when drawing grass at any level. And the first thing I want to talk about is shading. One way we could shade grass is by shading the grass blades that are closest to the viewer, so that they pop out more compared to the grass blades in the back, which should look less detailed or faded out. It's the same kind of idea that I talk about in my previous How to Draw Trees videos, where I mention atmospheric perspective, where objects that are in the front are going to be the most detailed and bold, while objects in the back are going to fade more and more into the background the further back they are, as you can see with this example here. Another way of doing shading is by putting a cast shadow on a grass blade that is behind another, around the point where two blades are intersecting, and you get this kind of unique look. Here are some examples of manga that use this specific technique, where there are little pockets of shadow in between the grass blades. A second way of shading is called hatching. And hatching is essentially when you draw a bunch of parallel lines that are close together in order to create shadow or texture. Many manga artists like using this hatching technique, including myself. It may be a little bit more time consuming to do, but if you want some nice detail, this is a very popular method of shading. The next option you could do here will involve you putting in a lot of black or shadows under or behind grass blades in order to get them to pop out more, which is what this video demonstrates here. In order to get this kind of look, the areas of grass that are furthest away from the sun or the light will have the most shadow. This will be like the lower parts of the grass where an animal or a bug might be hiding in. But the last way of shading that I see a lot of manga artists do, notably manga artists who have a darker art style, is by varying up each grass blade that is drawn. So they might have this grass blade that's just pure white, right? And then the next one that they draw is black, and the next one is gray. And then they repeat this process in order to get this kind of effect or look, which I think looks pretty cool, let's be real. But now we're going to be moving on to how to draw grass fields. Now, grass fields may seem intimidating to draw at first, because it's like, okay, well, how am I supposed to draw every single blade of grass or stalk of wheat? Well, it turns out that you don't have to draw every single thing, and you can actually simplify the process a lot. A lot of manga artists will use very minimal detail for the back or for the middle section of the grass, while putting the most detail at the front or at the areas they want to emphasize for the viewer. And what's great about this technique is that people can still tell that it's a grass field, even when the amount of detail is limited. In this video of me drawing here, I'll show you guys a quick example of how this is done. I'll begin with blades of grass that pop out in the front, and then in the very back of the field, I'll create this outline of grass. Finally, in the middle of the field, I'll draw very small hatching lines to indicate that there is grass here too. I might even decide to add in more detail to the front, but you guys get the idea. That things that are in the front are going to be the most detailed, and the things in the back will have minimal markings, like tiny dots or tiny lines. Either way is fine, it just depends on whatever look that you're trying to go for. As a side note though, wheat will be drawn a bit differently than grass, so you might have to teach yourself how to draw individual wheat stalks if you're drawing a wheat field. But otherwise, the same concepts will apply to wheat fields as well as grass fields. Here are some tutorials that I recommend looking at if you want to learn how to draw wheat and grass fields, and even different kinds of species of wheat that you might find out in the wild. Now, if you have a character standing or lying on the grass, remember that the areas around their body where it touches the ground should have the darkest shadows. This helps show real contact with the grass. Also, don't forget to show how the grass reacts to their weight. The blades will naturally bend or flatten as they're being pushed or compressed. If you've reached this far into this video and you're still not sure how to draw grass yet, or feel like you're not improving fast enough, here's an easy technique that really helps. It's all about using quick single strokes. If your lines are coming out a little wobbly, it's probably because you're drawing too slowly. Try using quick flicks of your wrist instead. This helps smooth out those shaky lines so that you can get a clean, confident stroke, like these. And if you want to draw thicker or fuller blades of grass, all you have to do is add another quick stroke right beside the first one that you made. The next thing that I want to talk about is digital brush packs. Like I mentioned in my How to Draw Trees video, I always recommend using these with caution. The idea of using pre-made grass can sound great because then you don't have to draw all that grass yourself, but if you don't know what you're doing, your grass can start to look repetitive, almost like a copy and paste pattern. and that can make your artwork feel a bit lazy or flat if there's no variety. That said, you can use brush packs if you want. They'll save you a lot of time if you do. Just make sure to add some variation and hand-drawn touches to your grass so it doesn't all look the same. Another tip is to practice drawing grass at different heights. If your scene takes place on a hill or uneven ground, make sure the grass follows the flow of the terrain, curving up, down, or along the slope. The key is to let the direction of your strokes follow the shape of the landscape. Yet another tip is to practice drawing grass at different lengths. Sometimes you'll want to show a neat, freshly cut lawn, and other times a more overgrown wild field. The great thing is, you can achieve both effects just by changing the type of strokes or marks you use for your grass. You can also draw grass by using silhouettes and negative space. Silhouettes are basically solid black shapes that show the overall form of the grass, while negative space is the opposite. It's like the lighter area or that white space around the shapes. You can actually use that white space to suggest the blades of grass or highlight the areas that are catching light. As you can see here, using negative space creates a strong contrast between the light and the dark areas, which helps the grass stand out and gives it a more dynamic look. If you guys want to dive deeper into techniques like showing how the wind moves through the grass or other fun ways to bring your scenes to life, I'd suggest checking out this artist's tutorials. The Etherington brothers, I believe they're pronounced. They do a fantastic job explaining it all in a super clear way, so definitely check them out. Now, for the last part of this video, I want to take the time to show you guys this collection of images that I got, all showing the different kinds of grasses that you could draw. I thought it might inspire you. A lot of these I've gathered from the internet and Pinterest, and a few I've even took some pictures of myself for a manga that I own. But I just wanted to show you a small glimpse of how many art styles are out there and all the different ways you can draw grass. There's even one type of look where the grass blades sort of blend in together, and it creates this really cool look. I can't think of a specific manga that utilizes this technique off the top of my head, but I know I've seen it done before. You might have noticed too about these pictures is that some of these styles might not look like traditional manga, like they might be from other art styles or genres entirely. But personally, I think any of these approaches can work perfectly for a manga. Hopefully, one of these styles inspires you to study and practice drawing your own version. If any of them do inspire you, let me know down in the comment section. I'd love to hear which one caught your eye. Also, quick note, since there were so many images collected for this segment of the video, I didn't really have the time to find and collect the names of the artists who made all of these. If you happen to spot an image that you like and you want to know who made it, just ask me down below in the comments. And make sure to include the timestamp of the image so that I know which one you're referring to. And I'll do my best to find the artist so that you can study their work and learn from their techniques. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed these last few illustrations of grass that I've collected. Each one is beautiful in their own way. And if you're uncertain of which style to go for your own manga, something that you can start asking yourself is, what kind of manga are you creating? If you're making a story that is darker and more dramatic, you might want a style that incorporates a lot of shadows. Or if you're going for something more lighthearted, like a shoujo manga, then you might want to find something that is lighter and softer looking. And then if you want to go for a style that's more simple and cartoony and quick, you might like the style of shonen manga the best. Lastly, if you want something more realistic and detailed, then something like a level 4 or a level 5 grass might be more up your alley. There's so much to explore. I also want to give a quick shout out to the artist of Vinland Saga, Makoto Yukimura. His backgrounds and grass work are amazing. Like, the detail is next level. I'm sure he probably had some assistants helping him out, because I can't imagine him doing all of those backgrounds, characters, and then writing the entire story on a super tight deadline. Either way, it's pretty inspiring to look at, isn't it? But yeah, I hope you enjoy the rest of this slideshow. As far as my final thoughts on drawing grass, if you take away anything from this video, it's this: that drawing grass can take a bit of time to get the hang of, like everything else, and it's totally okay. Don't feel bad if it doesn't look perfect right away. Good things take time, and with practice, you'll keep getting better and better at it. My advice is to find a method of drawing grass that works best for you. Because the last thing you want is to have finished dozens of manga pages only to realize later that you could have saved yourself a lot of time or effort just by handling grass a different way.
Fatality.
So experiment around until you find a system that feels right for you. Drawing a good manga is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. Unless, of course, you're on a tight deadline and you need to draw super detailed grass, then, well, you might be in trouble. But hey, at least if anyone ever tells me now to go touch grass, I could just look at them and say, no thanks. I already made a 20-something minute video about how to draw it. I'm good. But I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please leave a like and a comment, or even a sub. It really helps me grow the channel with the algorithm. This video took me quite a while to edit, more than I'd like to admit, so any support means a lot. But anyways, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!